Alright, alright. It's been a while since I've made a video. I know. But I just wanted to talk about real quick about the concept of that I just don't get. I like talking about things I don't get. I'm like an old man. Social media, the concept of relevance, and in terms of social media specifically, because that doesn't make any sense to me. How are you going to determine? Okay, let me start off with this. Hey, when I think of the relevant people in my life, I think of my mother, my father, my stepmom, my mom's boyfriend, family, right? My cousin, my best friend Max, my friend Tyron. These are all people in my life that are relevant to me because they do something for me, right? And beyond the fact that they do something for me, right? I love them, right? They're my friends, they're my family. Those are people that are relevant to me. What do these people on social media do for you to the point where you're gonna sit here and call them relevant? Like, what does that even mean? You're relevant, so that means 800 people are talking about you? But 800 people could be talking about you, and you could not be relevant. I mean, look at some of these guys on YouTube with 1 million followers, and nobody. If I ask my mom who Pyrocynical is, she isn't gonna. If I ask my dad who Pyrocynical is, he's not gonna know. That dude's got what, 10 million subscribers, something ridiculous like that. I mean, even one of the biggest. Think about the biggest dude you can think of, PewDiePie. Let's think of that. If I told my dad, oh, hey, PewDiePie is coming to town and performing a live show, right? Which I don't think that's something he does, right? My dad would be like, who the fuck is PewDiePie? What does he do, right? You're not gonna. The thing is, relevance is a very. What I'm trying to say, the point I'm trying to make here, very crappily through my very crappy analogies, is that relevance is a very relative thing. And number one, number two, it's a completely artificial concept that basically means fucking nothing. What are you talking about? Relevance is somebody who's good at advertising can make themselves relevant very quickly because they can get themselves in front of people's faces, right? That doesn't mean you're necessarily relevant. It's just like having money doesn't make you successful. If you fail at the basic standards of being a human being, being nice to people, right? Having a decent attitude towards life, following some kind of moral compass, being good to your fellow man, right? If you can't do those basic things, you can sit here and say you're successful all you want. Yeah, financially, maybe. Yeah, maybe you got a few people that like you for the stuff that you do and the money that you have and the status that you are, but you're not successful as a human being. There's a big difference. It's just like relevant. I mean, you have followers online. That doesn't mean you're relevant. That just means you have people that like you. I think that's a cool thing, but that doesn't mean you have any more inherent value or less value than anybody else. I mean, that's what that implies. And to be honest, if you really want to talk about relevance, none of us are relevant. We're all gonna fucking die. I mean, what are you gonna sit here and say, oh, yo, you're more relevant? Okay, are you gonna live forever? What are you, the second coming of Christ? I mean, there's no way you can sit here and say that oh, I'm more relevant than you because I have a. Okay, I don't care how much money you have. I'm happy, right? I have people in my life I actually like and who like me. I can go out and have a decent social interaction with somebody without them either liking me for my status or something else artificial like that. I have people that actually like me. Checkmate, right? But I mean, we could sit here and go back and forth about that. I could sit here and get into the nitty gritty. Oh, I can get to the moon in RoboQuest, right? I'm better at at RoboQuest than you are. That makes me a more relevant person. Are you serious? Like, really? Because I could play Super Smash Bros. Better than you? Because I'm better at fucking Pizza Tower and Guilty Gear Strive than you are? I can beat the Pizza Tower faster than you, right? That makes me a better person? That makes me a more valuable and relevant human being? I think this ties back to something interesting. I actually just wrote an essay about how humans' inequalities make them equal. And I feel like I have to break this down for some of you people. Okay, you see those nice guys that are rich, they have the Lamborghini, they have the mansion. They wouldn't have any of that shit if there wasn't somebody making the mansion. If there wasn't somebody sitting there in that car factory and putting together that car. They wouldn't have the money that they have if they didn't have some minimum wage employee sitting behind the counter of their business. They wouldn't be able to make the money that they do. Realistically, we're not all created equal. Some people have a lot of strengths. They're blessed with a lot of things in life. But that doesn't necessarily mean that there are some of us that are invaluable, right? Some of us are more valuable in certain scenarios than others, but that doesn't mean that there's no inverse to that. Like, people aren't invaluable, people aren't useless. I mean, I guess you could consider somebody useless because their actions are useless, but you know, a human being, a life has value, guys. Believe it or not, again, those people who have those high-paying jobs, they would not be able to have those jobs if it weren't for all the other roles being filled. So yes, while there are presidents, while there are kings and queens, and while there are CEOs, they wouldn't have that position if there wasn't all these people around them helping them. So is everybody created equal? No. Does everybody fill an equal role in society? Not really. But would any of those roles in society exist if it wasn't for the next one? No. And that's what you gotta understand, man. Relevance is a completely artificial... It's just a completely dumb thing for you to sit here and rank people on, oh, you're irrelevant. I'm not your mother or your father. Of course I'm fucking irrelevant. I'm some dude on the internet. Again, if you're sitting here thinking about the people that are relevant in your life and you're naming internet personalities, there's something wrong with you, man. There's something wrong with your life. There's something wrong. A little something wrong there. I didn't, you know. Bottom line is, okay, don't subscribe to this ignorant, stupid, baseless theory of relevance. It doesn't make any sense, and it doesn't have virtually any basis in reality, especially when you talk about these people online. Okay, so you consider your favorite YouTuber relevant. Well, then I could flip that around and say Johnny Somali is relevant, or any one of those degenerate kick streaming losers is relevant. And they're not. They're losers. All they do is broadcast their degeneracy, and more degenerates like that. Does that make them a more valuable person? That should answer itself. It's a rhetorical question. Come on. Yeah, that's it. That's all I wanted to say.